So, very warm welcome to all you wonderful educators out there. It's me, Sandeep Gulati, your host from Universal Mentors Association, and I'm bringing you today. The Bright Champ presents the TalkEd series, the fourth uh, season of TalkEd series. This is the second episode of this amazing series where we'll have educators across the country joining in and talking about some really, really interesting topics. The season is all about talking about skill development. We're talking about entrepreneurship. We're talking about coding, and various other topics in this series. It's a really, really innovative panel, need to be talked about. It's need of the hour, where a lot of students aspiring to be the future entrepreneurs of the country. And I think it's high time that we talk about the skill gap, or the necessary skill knowledge that the students should have, and it should start right from the school. And that's what we have all believed in. Without further ado, I have a stellar of a panel in front of us today. I'll not take much of a time, and quickly introduce all the wonderful panelists, because we have such an amazing lineup today. We have Mr. Tijay Gupta, who's the CEO of Bachpan Play Schools, and the chief operating officer of AHPS group of schools. We have Dr. Swetha Venugopal, who's the director of new BALDWIN group of schools from Bangalore. We have with us Dr. Amrita Vohra, CEO and Director Educations, GEMS Education India. We have Miss Alka Singh, who's the principal of Bluebells Model School, Gurugram, one of the most renowned schools in Gurugram. We have joining us all the way from Kuwait, Mr. Anoop Sharma, who's the principal of New Gulf Indian School. We have with us Miss Shruti Sharma ji, who's the principal of Delhi International School, Dwarka, New Delhi. We'll soon be joined by a couple of more guests in the session. Uh, so without further ado, let me just give you a small brief about Bright Champs, and not to forget our amazing moderator of the session, Miss Sujana Tumala ma'am, who's the innovation analyst from Bright Champs India, all the way from Hyderabad. So we have representations coming in from across India in this amazing panel. I'll give you a brief profile of Bright Champs. Bright Champs is global edtech company that delivers STEM accredited next-gen life skills learning to school students through entrepreneurship, coding, financial literacy, robotics, and communications. Backed by industry experts such as GSV Ventures and Premji Invest, they are currently operational in 30 plus countries, including India, Indonesia, Vietnam, Malaysia, the US, Canada, the US, and the UAE. In India, Bright Champs aims to enhance school education by providing the 21st century skill based education with the school ecosystem, and are working with 100 plus schools already across the country. Now, I would like to hand over the dais to our moderator, Ms. Sujana Thumala ma'am. But before that, let me just give a small brief about Sujana ma'am. Sujana Thumala, an innovative educator with over 5 years of teaching experience in a top IB school in India, transitioned from a career as software developer at an MNC to inspiring young minds through innovative teaching methods. Specializing in design thinking, Sujana currently functions as an innovation analyst at BrightCHAMPS, equipping students and educators to thrive in an ever evolving education landscape by crafting learning adventures that blend creativity and entrepreneurship. We have such an amazing panel. I think some of the topmost schools of the country are participating in this amazing panel. Whether we talk about GEMS, we talk about AHPS, we talk about Delhi International, we talk about the Bluebells. I think one of the most renowned schools of North India, especially Delhi NCR region, and all the way from Kuwait, we have Anoop sir joining us. So without further ado, Sujana ma'am, it's over to you. We are still awaiting the joining of Shweta ma'am and Amrita ma'am. They're having some technical issue. We'll try to sort them out and come back to you. Thank you, and have a wonderful session. I'll join you once the session is over.
Great. Thank you, Sandeep, for that warm introduction. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our webinar on transforming education industry relationships in changing landscapes. So I'm delighted to be your moderator today as we delve into these pivotal conversations. We have an outstanding panel of esteemed school leaders, each with a unique perspective to share on this topic. So, to kick off our discussion, I'd like to direct the first question to Mr. Tijay Gupta. Mr. Gupta, the education landscape is evolving at a remarkable pace. What role do you see industry partnerships playing in the transformation of K-12 education, especially in the context of today's rapidly changing landscapes?
Hi, good evening. Thank you for having me here. Great panel, and of course, presence from all over India makes this panel more interesting because we can get the views from South India, North India. I think uh, we can see all the perspective of education today, and different speakers will come about with their thoughts. So, as far as transformation you are calling, we last past 3 years we are talking about NEP, right? So we are very excited that NEP is here. NEP brings this, that, STEM, robotics, or so much and many more. Frankly, I have not gone through the entire NEP because it's so big. The crux I know, but I have a question for all our educators also. Why do we always wait for NEP or any other thing to come and be happy that now it's in the market, now it's government officially announced it. Now we are having our own schools, individual identity. We are the bosses, be it principal, be it the director, be it the uh, decision maker. I think we are all the bosses. So why do we wait for it to implement something? If we like something, we can implement that, right? So I think first, new initiative are always required at any point of time. If you find anything new, interesting, good, be it from India, be it from Finland, be it from Japan, if that can be implemented easily in our school, within our budget, within our time frame, we can do that. I always believe in doing small improvement rather than looking for a massive thing. अगर हम छोटी छोटी चीजें करते रहेंगे तो even then we can reach our goal. That's my thought, or that's my view. In terms of us as Bachpan and Academic Heights group of schools, we bought robotics in 2016 of our own. We divided it into three segments: primary, middle, secondary, and even the preschoolers are also having a idea of robotics. The core thing was that if a child goes to primary, middle, they have a basic idea that when a robotics, वहाँ पर I've used the robotics and that segment. I've seen that robotics in that area. I've seen that 10%, 15%, 20% implementation about that. And even beyond that, parents also have an idea that my child has gone through this and now this is an updated version of the same. Many people keep on asking the question, you are giving robotics to small kids, 2 year old, 3 year old. So we are not making a child scientist or a doctor. My core perspective about a preschool is that when a child goes from my school, he can eat his own food, he can write of his own, he can find up his laces, he can toe on toes. So all those things are being covered by the preschoolers, but from where that background is coming from, right? Any innovation comes from the requirement. We require something to talk to, we bought mobile phones. We require something to walk, we bring cars. Why don't we introduce it at an early age or an early pace, is my question, different from what you asked. So I think innovation is necessary. It can be calibrated with education in any manner whatsoever. Whatever we are having, we can do that. And according to me, that's most important for any educator, to bring good things to life, to reality, and to practicality. Yeah, I hope I'm able to answer your question.
Yes, thank you for that. Uh, we have one or two people who have joined the call. So, yeah. So thank you, Mr. Gupta. Yes, that's a very insightful thought. I do agree with you. We need not wait for something to get implemented. Yes, we have everything on our plate, and it's us who have to take it into the execution. I completely agree with you. Moving forward, um, Ms. Alka, I have a question for you. Could you share your thoughts on what role the career and technical education program play in preparing students for a wide range of career pathways? Uh, okay, sorry, there is some disturbance in the background. All right, I'll repeat my question again. So could you please share your thoughts on what role and the career and technical education programs should play in preparing students for a wide range of future pathways, including entrepreneurship? And how can industry inputs be integrated into these programs to ensure students also gain a vital financial competencies in their for their journey? Because that's the crucial thing right now.
Uh, that's such a amazing, perfect question what you put up. So I would say the traditional education system before the NEP, and as Tijay sir was talking before, we all thought that what is important for the students. It was to build, to teach students about subjects such as history, mathematics, science, social studies, and so on. But many students leave high school with an insufficient understanding of how those subjects are applied in real life and how that translates into career opportunities. I would say that about one third of the students in the bachelor's degree programs change their college major at least once, with one out of every 10 changing multiple times. What does it tell us? It actually says that this lack of hands on career exploration opportunities for the students did not get at the high school. So once they reach the bachelor's, or once even when they get into the careers, you know, they are not sure, is this the right place, is the right subject, is the right stream what they've chosen. So I would say without career focused education, students they do not actually have a clear picture of what the future job actually might be like. Many choices with limited information, I would say, increases the likelihood of needing to go course corrections down the line. They keep changing, they're not happy with things. Here comes what we are talking about, the need of CT, the career and technical education. Now, to understand what it is, I would say that it's just a practice of teaching skill based careers to students while they are in school, maybe say middle school, high school. So that is the time we tell them, okay, wait, what kind of skills are required such that they're happy with the careers once they reach there. I would say we as educators, we've been constantly talking about it. This is not like a new term or something very different out here. We kept using the word vocational education. So I would say vocational education is nothing but the career and technical education. It's one and the same thing. And this vocational education, or I would say the CT, what is it doing? It's giving a boost to the learning. How is it giving it a boost? Because it's combining the academic courses what we are teaching with career focused courses, skill building, mentoring, and work opportunities to give students extra preparation for their college as well as, I would say, careers. Or I say that preparing students for the workforce. Constantly we are talking about employability, the term saying that industrial revolution 5.0, this is the skill set. You would be a workforce only provided you have all these skills. We need to provide that, and the students are going to receive hands-on training, mentoring, internships from employers. That's what you've been asking. What is this relationship what we can have even with industry? And it's critical. For example, if you say me, I would like to know what would be my job when I become a CA, or when I become an engineer. So why not when I'm in grade 9, I go and I actually intern there. That's what NEP is also talking about. Once I intern, I know I like it, I have a calling for it, or I don't have a calling for it. Similarly, now with when we're talking about the NEP also, 2020, it's actually given a special emphasis on vocational education. Or when we are talking about CT, it's like the same, and skill development. Like integration of vocational education with general education, the academic subjects, what you're talking about, and mainstreaming of vocational education are, believe me, one of the key reforms of NEP. And this is going to transform the education system of the country. You know, by incorporating real world projects, industry certifications, internships, these students are going to gain valuable industry experience and 100% a competitive edge in the job market. Now, I'm an economics PGT also, apart from being the head of the school. And just recently, we are teaching Indian economics, and there's a topic employment over there. So I just asked them, do you know what is gig economy? So they were saying, yes, ma'am, we have a general idea. So I was telling them, apart from whatever subject specialization you would have, you need to be donning many other hats. For that, you need to be interning, you need to be having many other certifications, which is important. And who can provide that? Obviously, as school, we give the base. And obviously, in college, also it can continue. So, therefore, CT programs, I would say, can effectively prepare students. The question what you asked for entrepreneurship, obviously, financial competency also. How? Now, experiential learning, I just said internship or the skill based subject, vocational education in our schools. So, what do they emphasize on? The hands on experience and hands on experience in various technical fields. Now, this approach of experiential learning is going to allow students to develop the practical skills also, which means they're the entrepreneurs. I'll just share a live experience from our school. 4 years back, because while you were introducing, so our moderator, you said she's a specialist for design thinking. And 4 years back, this design thinking, the thought came, and we said, okay, before CBSE introduced it as a vocational subject. So we started off with something known as a design fair. And we said, okay, we are going to just target grade 6 to grade 8, the first year. And we told them, okay, find a problem in whatever in your arena, school, home front, and find a solution for the same. First year, we had around 30 odd projects. All these projects, when we are talking about, out of them, there was one student who came up with the project Jeev Raksha application. We said, okay, how did it come from? So he said, okay, ma'am, I saw certain stray dogs and all roaming about. So I thought I'm going to collaborate with NGOs and finally get these stray animals reach the right place. Believe me, today, he has his own startup. This is what we are talking about. And how did it happen? Because immediately after that, the next year, we launched an e-cell, an entrepreneurship cell in our school. And when we launched this, we have a subject also, entrepreneurship. But when we launched this cell, so we said that here we are going to have these projects mentored by the startup, successful startup people. So we have 5 mentors who have successful startups who mentor our ESL students. And mentoring how? One is obviously developing then a pitch and finally getting them to the angel investors and establishing proper startups. As on now, proudly I would say we have 5 students who have their own startups. The 2 of them have passed out, so 3 are still there in school. I think that's what we are talking about. Now, even when we are talking about industry partnerships, I think that's what you wanted. So I would say industry experts can help us in 2 ways. One is, providing that skill set to the students, allowing them to be there, and these industry recognized credentials or certifications are going to help these students in their career and sure in their future jobs also. Second help that they can provide is the curriculum. I keep talking to the college professors and the people who own colleges, saying, "What do I give to you? The student I'm giving. That means after grade 12 he reaches you all. So what is that you're looking at? Maybe I'm teaching something which is not required, redundant, and the child goes there. मैंने क्यों पढ़ा था? I think that is a waste of time. I don't want that. So we keep having these conversations, although the complete curriculum change is not my forte, and nor I can do that. But that conversation, that what skills I can give. Similarly, I keep talking to them about the curriculum. What we are teaching as per CBSE norms, yes, but what is that add-on I can do? So that also works. And then since these students, when you're talking about financial literacy, and I loved when Tijay Gupta sir, he was talking about why not from the beginning. Why do we want someone to tell us ye karo? So financial literacy, CBSE said karo. Before that, luckily, it was just a coincidence that SRCC, there is the group which came with us, they collaborated and they said that we want to take financial literacy sessions with you and we are going to train your grade 11 and 12 students. So there came up this financial literacy club. First we said okay till 6, but later I said why not from grade 3? Why the child should not know, even like how to have some kind of budgeting, financial planning, not exactly accounting and risk management at that age, but yes, slowly. So that's something which is again required. So personally, what I feel, looking at the question what we had put up, so it's important that CT plays a super important role. CT technically, again, I would say career and technical education, developing the skill set. The government is working towards this. Kushal Bharat, Skill India. So all this is what we cannot have so many employment opportunities, but we can provide the skill set such that they have their own startups. That's my point of view. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Ms. Alka. It's like a very insightful thoughts that you have shared. Many of them think that entrepreneurship is something which starts definitely outside the classroom. Yes, definitely it does, but the starting stone, the starting steps have to be there from the classroom. And I think you have given really good examples which proves this statement as well.
If you
Thanks,
allow
Ms.
me to
Alka.
add on just one last statement. That design fair, like this year, we keep naming it differently. This year, we called it Future X. From grade 3 to 12, we had 320 projects, 2 days fair. And we had n number of parents who are ready to finance these projects. So I think that's what we want. And many of them have given an opportunity to our students to intern in their firms or companies. I think as educators, that's what we need to do. Thank you.
Absolutely, Mr. Alka. That's very impressive. Thanks for the insights. Now, I would like to hear from Mr. Anoop. In your experience, how can industry professionals or the entrepreneurs we call serve as a mentor or role model for students? And how can these relationships can be nurtured for these students?
Very good evening to all the esteemed members of the panel, and good evening, Sujana. When we were discussing about this seminar, and when Sandeep called me up, he had my profile, which was like the Indian profile, and I've recently shifted to Kuwait now. So when he was talking about the topic, then I said probably I can add some international dimension to the topic, and probably now, since the children everywhere, they are going global, so it is very important for us to understand this point of view, which is getting global, which is getting big now. So the question that you have asked me, it is like it has two parts. First is the role and importance of the mentors. See, it is very important for us to understand that students, they learn very well in two different situations. One is when it is a need for them, and second, when it's a passion for them. So we have to understand these two situations and create these situations for the children to learn. All industry experts, they can play a wonderful and significant role creating that passion in the children. They, when they come to the schools, their presence in the school, the positivity and the energy that they bring in, it is excellent for the students to learn about their industry. Hence, it is very important for us to have these industry experts coming to our school, interacting with the children, and behaving as their mentors, becoming their role models. I was fortunate to host a session with Dr. Abdul Kalam, wherein he was invited to our school to talk to the children. I could see that different atmosphere that day in the school. Not only the teachers, everybody, even the student, class 3 students, they were so passionate to see Dr. Kalam. So the type of positivity that they bring in into the school, and when he was talking about growth, he was talking about dreams, he was talking about aspirations, he was talking about children getting ready for their future. This is what the real life is. This is what the real learning is. Technically, in CBSE terminology, we call it the real life relevance. So when these mentors, they land up in the school, when these industry experts, when they come and talk to the children, This is the real learning for them. This is the real education that we are talking about. Definitely, the guidance that they provide, it is priceless. Teachers, no doubt, they are important, but teachers, they have their limited domains, and teachers, they talk to them about the respective subject. Rightly said by Madam Alka, these children, they don't know where they're going to land up after 10 years or 15 years. So industry experts, they can give them the right picture of their future. Hence, it is very important for us to have these industry experts liaising with the school. We have wonderful mentors these days. Mr. Ratan Tata, he speaks wonderfully well about school education. Mr. Mittal, Mr. Rakesh Bharti Mittal, again, I was working in one of his schools also. They are running something called Bharti Foundation. And Bharti Foundation is running 254 schools in the country. So I was heading one of their schools in Punjab. So Mr. Mittal is a wonderful person to speak to when he comes and interacts with the student in the school. It's a real learning. Then we have wonderful mentors like Madam Murthy, Madam Sudha Murthy from Infosys. She's wonderful when she interacts with students. Mr. Ambani, he speaks wonderfully well. I also happen to be in one of the interactions with Madam Bedi, Madam Kiran Bedi, the Iron Lady. The way she motivates children, and the way she talks to the school leaders. All these learnings are precious. Hence, it is very important for us to have industry experts as the school mentors. Now, the second part of your question, which asks how can we maintain relationships? How can we nurture these relationships with these people? Being school leaders, it is very important for us to plan all these things well in advance. So, the most important thing that we have, we call it the annual academic calendar. So, when we plan this calendar, we should plan a lot of industry related experiences for the children. Like we call it the industry visits. So, I have one industry visit every month in my calendar. Definitely some of them they work out, others they don't, because there are limitations that crop up afterwards. But beforehand I should have a plan for me. So 11 months of teaching, at least 11 industry visits planned for the students. And even if I'm able to make it for 5 or 6 visits, it's worth it. Then the other thing that we should work on, we call it the guest lectures. We invite all the industry experts to come to our school and deliver lectures for the students. And now when we talk of these experts, industry, whether it's small scale industry, large scale industry, startups coming up these days, all these guest lectures are very, very significant for the students. I remember a class 7 girl talking to one of the female entrepreneurs. She is Madam Mandeep, who is running her own IT company in a very small town in Amritsar, that's in Punjab. So, Madam Mandeep, she is the first lady who has started a full-fledged IT industry in a village, in a very small town. And now she is one of the most enterprising entrepreneur of the country. So when she was talking to the children, this class 7 girl, she asked her, Ki, Madam, can I also become another Mandeep? She was very happy. She was very happy. But then, of course, like, the true mentors, they guide the children. She said, Beta, you need not become another Mandeep. But yes, you can become whatever you are and do something outstanding. We can help you in that. We can help you in nurturing your dreams. And definitely, you can also write the history. So this is the role. This is the important role that these mentors, they come and play in the school. Uh, we also have a lot of online seminars for the students. We connect them with industry experts and talk to them online, because these days, most of these business tycoons, they are short of time. They are traveling or they are occupied in a lot of meetings and reviews and all that. So we normally request them to spare 10 minutes, 15 minutes for our students. We connect them online. Last time we had this interaction with one of the industrialists in Ludhiana. He was on his way to Delhi, and he was kind enough to connect with our students when he was traveling by road. So he connected from his car, and we had the student interaction. So all these things are possible. All these things can be done by the school leaders to give this first-hand experience to the students. Also discussed and touched upon by Madam Alka, CBSE is advocating a lot of vocational subjects in the school. So for school leaders, it is very important to provide these vocational avenues to the students. The students must be given this opportunity to select any of the vocational subjects that they want. This is the stepping stone. Once we have this vocational subject running in the school, then we connect with an expert from that vocation, we invite them to the school, and then they become the mentors for our students. And yes, we can have internship programs also. This is very important to stay connected with these mentors. We can provide the best thing that they are looking for. All the industrialists these days, they are looking for effective manpower. They are looking for manpower which can come and help them to introduce quality in their processes. So we connect with them and we provide internship programs to our children, where our children, they go to their companies, they go to their industries and work with them for 1 week, 2 week, a monthly basis. So this internship program is also very beneficial for our children to stay connected with these mentors. Last but not the least, all of us, we need to understand that we cannot listen to these sentences anymore. I was in one of the seminars wherein this industrial leader, he said that, my dear school leaders, your students are not industry ready. He said that, I am very sad that schools are producing students who are not fit for the industry. So that was the time wherein I requested this person. I said, my dear industry leader, why don't you come to our school and connect with our students? It will serve our purpose and it will be a win-win situation for both of us. We will give you what you are looking for, and you please help us in what we are looking for. So that's how it is very important for us to stay connected with all these industry experts and future entrepreneurs. Thank you, Sujata.
Uh, Truly valuable insights, Mr. Anoop. Actually, it's very evident that these relationships are influential in guiding our students. Also, like Ms. Alka has earlier mentioned, that parents obviously will be always our partners and they will be helping us at every step. And of course, they are also, there are many industry experts in them as well. We can collaborate that. Yes. Thank you so much for those valuable insights, sir. Moving forward, um, I would just want to ask Dr. Swetha. Sorry, she's not here. Sorry.
Hello.
Yeah, Dr. Swetha.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, Dr. Shweta. So I have a
Yes,
question for
yes.
you. So, could you share some advice for other school educators looking to establish productive relationship with the industry partners to better prepare for the students and the future success?
Well, beautiful question. And I mean, listening to all the great panelists, I understand it's very, very important that we maintain relationships with the industry experts. So, good evening to everyone present here. Um, See, what are we doing as educators? Whenever I do a work or whenever everybody does some work, the only thing is we think is about what is our objective. The objective of every school or every educator is to produce students who are industry ready, community ready, and are also going to be an able citizen. So I've just listened to Madam Alka and Sir. They were wonderful. I mean that shows that their experience in the schooling field and how they've produced children outside. So when we see that the children are produced outside, if we are just giving students who just know maths and science, which are not so useful for the actual industry, what is the point? So the objective, whenever an educator or a leader is in the industry, your objective should be very, very clear. Once you know my objective is to produce citizens who are going to be industry ready, who are going to be independent, who will be able to lead their own life. So that kind of people, if I want to produce, then I should know how I should do that. The moment I achieve my objective, then I should know how I do that. So how I do that is, see, school is nothing but the future community. It's just a mimicking of the community, but which is going to be 5 years down the lane. This is a community that you're going to produce. So at this point of time, it's very important for leaders to be active enough so that we are going to actually give our children the visualization as to how their life is going to be 5 years down the lane. Because as parents or as teachers, they have a very limited role how to visualize things for children. So as educators, as leaders, we are empowered to make sure that each and every student of ours can visualize what her future is going to be. Say, supposingly, you want to be a doctor. Are you ready to be a doctor? How do I make you visualize how your life will be as a doctor? Is me connecting to a good hospital and just sending you for a while, maybe even 7 to 10 days, or even just a week's time for the children to experience how it's going to be as a life of a doctor. Because what we or children see from outside is absolutely different from what it is inside. And are they going to be ready to pursue this dream? See, when our sir just informed, was telling that students learn by two things. One is the need and one is passion. That was amazing. That was really amazing, sir. So when you make the child realize that this is his passion, you're going to produce a student who is industry ready. That is, you're going to produce a beautiful doctor. So you don't have to push them to do their work. Automatically, the economy, the country, the citizen, everything else is going in an autopilot mode, because you are going to produce passionate people for their respective jobs. So for this, it is absolutely necessary and our responsible as an educators, as directors, as people in this industry, that we connect to people from different backgrounds. Maybe somebody wants to be into aeronauticals, somebody wants to be a scientist, somebody wants to be maybe into fashion designing, somebody wants to be in art. So why don't we as an educator provide children the opportunity for them to visualize how their life are? And also, we as educators, we know what is the economy and what kind of jobs that we need to, these number of, for example, there are very few people who are going into automobiles. So there are very few people who are going into, actually we have shortage of doctors as well. So when we know that there are some kind of deficiencies like that, it is very important on our part to balance the economy of the country. So for all these things, it's very important that we have to maintain very good relationship with different industry experts. Like the other panelists informed that you get them on board, you get them to also look into what kind of what kind of students you want to produce, that we get in connect with all the industry experts. And maintaining relationship is an absolute necessity, because your relationship is going to be affecting thousands of children. So you know how to handle it then.
Agree. Beautifully said, ma'am. Actually, I do agree completely with you. I think, yes, first of all the educator leaders, including the teachers, we have to set our vision and mission clear, and then we can, help our students to, direct them towards that path. Very beautifully said, ma'am. Thank you. Uh,
Thank
now
you.
we have Ms. Shruti. Uh, yeah, Ms. Marya. I'm curious about your vision for the ideal K-12 education industry partnership. In the coming years, how do you see it evolving?
Thank you and good evening, everybody. I totally resonate with whatever everyone has stated. And with the experiences that everyone just stated, it is very clear that now education is on the right track. So, of course, taking from the first person who had spoken, that is Gupta ji, he stated that we need to start from the inception of education, that is the pre primary level. I totally agree with that. And going forward, when we go to grades, which is higher classes, grade 12th, the industrial exposure is extremely important. But at this point in time, I would also like to press your attention towards that it's a boom these days. Every school, everywhere, there's a rush and a hush of all of these things. So we need to make the right choices. Like sir has already stated that with whom are we supposed to partner with, who is supposed to come and mentor, that will impact and influence all our learners. So basically, there are a lot of maths going around. I'm just quoting an example. A lot of mathematicians, with no not demeaning anybody, but a lot of mathematicians going around to generate interest in mathematics, because the NEP now talks about literacy and numeracy in the foundational years. So it has erupted a lot of mathematicians. So what we need to make, again, the correct choice. Who's supposed to be the mentor? Now, in my school, we have our curriculum designer partner, that is Mr. Anandji. So he is the founder of Super 30, on which a movie was also made, which was telecasted on by Hrithik Roshan. So the way he teaches mathematics is just the game changer for anybody who's not even interested in mathematics. So it would open avenues first to generate the interest, and then maybe go towards the industry where children would get exposed to how mathematics can change their lives. So, mentoring, who's the mentor, where to take the children is extremely important. And I would also like to state that all subjects can be integrated. So basically, when we are doing startups, when we are doing any project, so we should not only and only focus on entrepreneurship skills, but we can link our English skills with that, we can link our economics with that, we can link our accountancy with that. So the integrated approach will benefit all of us, and the mentor who does all that for us is the one who will lead our learners. Also, why do we go out? We have parents as a stakeholders. So we also run a Sarthi program in the school, wherein we call our own parents who are entrepreneurs or who are in the industries. They come and they talk and they cater to our children. So not only the bond and the partnership with the parent is evolved, but also we actually get the true image of how the industries and how the people working in the industry can help our own children, and they tell you exactly what is happening in those industries. So industrial visits, annual planners, the clubs that we run, the projects with the parents, selecting the right mentor, partnering with the right university, partnering with the right industry. I think all of that will build up the future of our future generation. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Very beautifully said. Thanks for the insights. We have Mr. Sorry, Miss Marya, who have joined the panel. Miss Marya. Yeah. Hello, ma'am. As we have discussed very insightful thoughts from all the panelists, we have heard really different perspectives. Everyone have shared different thoughts, their experiences. Having discussed all these things, what are the challenges that we could face while implementing these connections? So, what challenges we could face, and how can we overcome those challenges?
Good evening, everyone. And sorry to this thing that I have not prepared anything. Means just one funeral is there in my house, and I am there only. But still, I'll just say two words. So while implementing all these things, see, I work in villages where we have faced a lot of challenges, because there the parents are not ready to accept for the new whatever things are there. So we have to convince the parents. Now suppose AI is there, if we want to introduce that, it is a big challenge for us now, because parents doesn't want that. They themselves don't know, so they don't agree for that. So we are doing our we though we have AI lab with us, so we have to convince lot of parents. So now only few 25% parents are ready for that, 75% don't agree for that. Now suppose now the CBSE has told us a lot of new subjects which has to be introduced right from the children will have choices. But again, the challenges, what you said, what you were asking me is the people whom we are the stakeholders whom we are dealing with. They are the they are the main challenges for us. Otherwise, I'm attending all the webinars, and the other stakeholders, they are coming up with the good packages and everything. The content is very good, but only thing is that implementing these in schools, it is becoming a challenge for us. That's what I would like to say.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing that. The last question, I would like to open this to all the panelists. If anyone would like to address this, the challenges and how can we overcome them? Because this is something which is crucial for all the viewers as well to understand little in depth. So I want to know if any other panelists would also like to shed some light on this.
I can take this from my perspective. So yes, challenges are there. Difficult to make parents understand. Difficult to make kid understand. Sometimes the financial challenge may be there. Sometimes the challenges keep on coming. Uh, as I started, like whatever we can do, there are some small mechanism we can do. Of course, some solution can be implemented in the school even after charging 100 rupees, 200 rupees per month also. I think importantly, it comes from this. If it comes from this, I think 50% of problem can be sorted out. I'll just tell you a simple way to teach financial literacy. What we did. There are many companies which are offering a program for financial literacy, just to teach about money, just to teach about notes, check all those things. Frankly, a 9th, 10th, even a 12th grade student doesn't know nowadays if you have to go to bank, how to deposit a check and how to make a bank slip, which I feel is necessary. Okay, online is okay, but offline is again something you need. So what we did, we create a program in our school, which is Kids Shark Tank. So we taken the task of 8 to 10th, make a team of 3 and 4 students, and ask them to come up with their idea, and we'll give funding to them. Right. As the kids were small, so funding can be go to their parents' account, and once they turn 18, they will get that money. But idea was that to bring ideas for the business. Believe me, we got about 34, 35 odd students, 10, 12 teams, and out of them in the first season only 5 or 6 ideas were good. What about these ideas? Kids know about funding. Kids know about money. They understand how the money comes from. They understand when they grow big, they have to work and to get it arranged for them. For example, nowadays every kids are asking for a good mobile phone from their parent. First thing is a mobile phone. Second is the good mobile phone. What is the definition of a good mobile phone? It means an Apple, right? Or a 30, 40,000 phone. So I always keep on saying to I have two daughters, keep on saying, beta, kamao low. So I keep on telling them when you will earn that mobile from your own pocket, you will keep it safe, you will keep it clean, you will because they are not getting that point of money. So how they can get that? Once they go into the market, once they create these ideas. So I'm saying we can create a structure around all these things. We can create a simple structure for around all the schools, classes. Now we have started the Shark Tank classes in our school. Means there's a class where literacy comes with some idea. I'm just saying to get a different idea, adapt it. Ho sakta it might get failed, but if it clicks, it might do wonders for us. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That's a really valuable thought. Um, any other panelist?
I would just like to add very briefly that a lot of times we've been doing industrial visits, but in my opinion, these industrial visits need to be changed into triple E's, and for me, these triple E's are the entertainment, educational excursions. So you have to have a plan wherein the students go. They not only imbibe the information about the industry, they have a little bit of entertainment as well. It is not only a picnic, but it is an excursion. But you have to brief the children before they leave. What exactly are they supposed to do? What exactly are they supposed to observe and come back? They're learning. It is not an end. Industrial visit is just the beginning, in my opinion. So the challenge is that most of the children take these visits or excursions as only the picnic rather than the educational aspect of the same. There has to be a little fun. I totally agree, but there has to be the aspect of education as well. Thank you.
Yeah.
Very rightly said by Madam Shruti. What we do in our school is we have something called pre-visit exercise. Then we have something called during the visit assessment and evaluation. And then there is something called post-visit exercise. So we have two types of questionnaires. One is baseline and other is the end line. So baseline is the questionnaire that we give it to the students before the visit. They have to explore internet, teachers, research, library, wherever they can. And then during the visit, They observe a lot of things and they write it down as pointers. And once they are back from the visit, then we conduct the end line assessment, the end line test for them, wherein we come to know whether they were serious or not. So this sort of documentation, we make an event file for this. This sort of documentation serves as a beautiful document for CBSE visits also. So this is my request. If anybody would like to replicate, it will be great. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Like very rightly said, like Mr. Anoop and Ms. Shruti has mentioned, these the thoughts that you have just mentioned. I think it definitely made every of our viewer and every one of us to start rethinking how we have to, schedule our industrial visits. It's a very thought-provoking. You just left us with a very good thought. Uh, Anyone else would like to go ahead? Okay, so
Sujana, if I would just take one more minute.
yes, yes, please.
Dear friends, since I've got this opportunity to work in this different part of the world, which is not very different from India, let me tell you, we have a lot of Indians this side, and we have a lot of CBSE things going on this side also. So I would like to extend an invitation to all the school leaders to come forward and join us for some exchange programs that we can run cross country. So I'm sure Sujana, she has shared our contact numbers in the group. We can connect with each other, and I invite you if you would be willing to come for an exchange program. I have the framework and the structure ready with me. We can discuss that, and we can help our children to have this exchange program online. Thank you, everybody.
Great.
Health.
Yeah. So I want to express my gratitude to all our distinguished panel members here for the profound insights and to all the viewers for joining us today. So your questions and participation have made this discussion insightful and engaging. So let's continue to work together to bridge the gap between education and industry, preparing our students for a brighter future. So this brings close to webinar to a close. Thank you all. Hand it over to Sandeep.
Thank you so much, Sujana ma'am. This was such a wonderful panel. I think this was such a very, very smooth panel because the kind of speakers that we had were also really, really smooth, especially well prepared, thought of the topic very deeply, and put their points in point. Very precisely, very abruptly, in front of all the wonderful audience that we have. But before I go away, I still have this niggle that I wanted to ask all the wonderful educators out there. That I'm sure there are few people, just like Alka ma'am mentioned, that there are almost 5-6 startups that are running in her school, and I'm sure there are a lot of students who are doing wonderful, wonderful things for future. So very quickly, it's just a yes or no questions. Do you think an alternate education model alongside our regular curriculum should also be implemented in our schools? Yes, no, maybe. We'll start off with Tijay sir. Yes. Shruti ma'am.
Definitely yes.
Shweta ma'am.
Absolutely, yes.
Absolutely, yes, yes. But it's
Yes.
it's just that, when we have this alternate thing, that we should know how much should we give, what we should give, and what exactly is our objective in that. Because we don't want to, again see that the other part is missed out.
Wonderful. So we've all been talking about, a couple of years back, or I think 3-4 years back, pre-COVID era, we were talking about a lot of talking about incubators in the higher education space. I'm sure the incubators are now going to come back to the school level because the kind of urgency that the student has to earn money, not only just money to start up his business, and the kind of support that we're also getting from the government of India to make as many startups as possible. It will become a mandate to have programs to talk about entrepreneurship, talk about business, talk about nitty-gritties of financial literacy, sales per se. Some part of that business acumen has to be inculcated right at the school level, and that's where the industry perspective is going to be really, really important. Thank you so much for this amazing panel. Miss Sujata Tumala, thank you so much for supporting us, Bright Champs. A huge shout out to you for bringing the fourth series of Talking Education. I would like to thank Mr. Tijay Gupta, uh, Dr. Swetha Venugopalan, Ms. Alka Singh, Mr. Anoop Sharma ji, and Ms. Shruti Sharma, ma'am, and last but not the least, Ms. Mary, for joining us for this amazing panel. And to all the viewers of watching us, more than 75 odd registrations. Do not go away. We have the third episode coming up next week of the same series where we are talking education, bridging the gaps between industry. We are talking about skills. Stay tuned for this space for more. Have a wonderful weekend ahead. Thank you so much to all you wonderful educators for joining us once again. It has been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Sandeep. Thank you, Sujata. Thank you, everybody. Have a nice time.
Thank
Bye
you,
bye.
everybody. Good evening.